Meet me after slashing your wrist, or at the end if you so insist. I'm persistent when told to cease and desist with this blasphemous shit.
Collage Chalet. We got some Jubilee. This title kinda definitely caught my attention. It's called She's Dying, but I get the impression it's from Jubilee. But I think people decided whether or not they would forgive their mum. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. And it's very relatable.
Do I mend my broken relationship with my abusive mother? Yes or no?
I think family is very important. If you can at least try to have some kind of communication between you and your mother, I think that's a very important thing.
I think it's a very subjective situation though, because like when you have an abusive person in your life, it's really, really hard to keep amends with them. So I think it does depend to like, have you tried before? Like what is the situation like?
Yeah.
My mom has terminal brain cancer. I feel like I'm running out of time.
If that changed your decision, you guys are welcome to switch sides.
Of course they would.
I just wouldn't want you to regret. I've had the same type of thought, should I cut someone out of my life? But then I don't want to hold this anger and resentment for this person and die with this feeling.
I actually did experience that. My mother did pass of cancer, and I did not have a good relationship with her the majority of my life. I did not give her very long, but at least the last few years that we did have, we were able to have open conversations and me hear her perspective for the first time ever. And it gave me a very different view on things because as parents, I am a mother of 5. We do the best we can with what we have at the moment. To know I loved her, I knew she loved me, completely changed everything when she did pass on, which was 10 years ago.
I was raised in a cult-like religious community where my abuse occurred. Due to my mother's religious conditioning, she swept my abuse under the rug.
You guys have another chance to switch sides if you feel compelled to.
America loves religion, innit? They're forgiving it.
It's difficult being in a cult, just thinking of being brainwashed, and that could have affected her mom. And maybe the cult was like encouraging to act like it didn't happen.
When parents show stress around a child, that kid will like pick up on the stress, and maybe this was her attempt to maybe make it not hurt as bad, you know, and like it's not the right thing to do, but maybe this was kind of her way of dealing with it.
I would just like to add though, attempting to mend the relationship does not excuse the behavior.
Definitely.
Right.
It's more about understanding the context and trying to seek closure for yourself.
Exactly.
Or in her case, for her. So.
I know they tried to focus on the cult aspect, but it wasn't. It was the religious aspect. Yeah, we understand. I'm still in a no. I am this girl at the moment, except as far as I know, she's not on her way out. So I'm trying to go for it. I suppose I've got to see their thing, but these dudes are American, and already they've shown themselves to be American, if that makes sense. I feel like in England, we're a lot more likely to say fuck it.
A pastor of my church coerced and groomed me. She was married, I babysat his children. My abuse caused me to lose my community. When I had gotten strong enough to potentially try and bring it to light, my mom did have evidence of the abuse, and she chose to destroy it.
How many times have you tried to mend this relationship?
Fuck 'em. No, fuck 'em. Huh? How does a mum have that much power? If a mum is shit, she's shit. They don't give a fuck about this girl. They're like, yeah, but it's your mum. It's like some people. Like, it happened, I've experienced it so much because I'm like, fuck my mum. I don't give a fuck about her. I've experienced it so much where other people get offended on my mum's behalf. Like, it hurts their, like, sense of morality to hear someone cuss their own mum. Like, huh? Do I have to tell you my life story before you're like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, fair enough. But it's still your mum, though, dude. No, bro. No, bro. No. Oh, that's so disappointing. Mum destroyed evidence of child's abuse. End of. Are you telling me they wouldn't be watching the news? And then hear the news report, and the report says, one new bit of evidence came to light. The mother indeed had photographs of her child being abused and chose to destroy it. Would they sit down on the couch then and say, oh, yeah, but probably that's just how she was trying to deal with it? Nah, bruv. Be honest.
Probably for my whole life. My last contact with her was in April. I flew states away to be with her, and she walked out of a room.
Of course she did.
And that was how we said goodbye that day.
Of course she did.
I lived a pretty gaslit existence, and so I wasn't always aware of the abuse I lived in. It's only been the last decade or so that I have learned about myself and what is right and normal. Sorry.
It's okay.
You do not have to apologize for being a human being.
But
For
it's
your
still your
personal
mum, though.
peace and for you to find forgiveness, do you think that that requires a mended relationship with your mom?
At the time of her diagnosis, she had a 1% chance to live the next 5 years. It's been 1 year. With her diagnosis, it's clear to me that she's willing to die with this. And that is so extreme to me. She has asked me questions like, well, think of his children. She's befriended his ex-wife, who is the wife he was married to when all of this happened. And it feels really extreme. It feels bad to know that my mother...
Right. I don't know who these people are making a judgment that all their faces look stress-free. Maybe they just use good makeup. But if they all don't move over, whatever the next category is
suffering, and to not be able to comfort her in the way that I wish. But in order to do that, it really feels like I'm letting myself down. And I'm the only one that's going to stand up for myself. There's nobody else. And so to appease her death so she can have a peaceful death when my life has been so tumultuous, I can't.
This is tough.
Yeah, I understand.
This is tough.
Your mother doesn't deserve to have that peace. And I feel like mending that relationship is going to give her peace. And you're not going to have that because you've had a traumatic life.
I totally understand the boundaries. I agree with all of your points, but this is your mother. Things don't just go away over time. I think that's the biggest lie. Time heals things. No, it does not. You addressing your things heals things. And so you have an opportunity to do that, and she doesn't have much time left to.
Sorry to kind of
Are you shitting me? No matter what the mum does, she's fucking crying, telling her mum burnt evidence. Her mum is happy to be friends with the abuser, ignoring her own daughter. But because she's died, but it's your mum though, it's your mum. Bro, I've heard that so much, like, what? But again, I say, you watch the news and hear a child was abused and the mum knew about it and destroyed evidence. Tell me then you're gonna be like, yeah, but that's the mum though, maybe that's just the way she... You wouldn't. So why now? Not all mums are good, bro. When a mum's good, I'm sure that's the greatest feeling in the world. I understand people obsessed with their mums. Like, I get it. But if she's shit, she's fucking up the youth. 100%. No matter what. no matter what.
Counteract the whole thing where it's like, it's your mom, like blood only goes so far. And her being blood related to you doesn't excuse everything that she's done.
Thank you,
I
Chelsea.
kind of disagree a little bit. I think it definitely doesn't excuse. If she doesn't want to take accountability, that's on her, right? That's not your problem anymore. But for your own sake and for your own peace of mind, I think it's really important that you really give it your all, especially in this crucial time that you have.
I was wondering, what do you need in this moment to feel like safe and secure?
I don't know. I would like validation. I would like to feel loved. I would
not gonna
like
get that.
to feel a part of something.
Do you currently have a support system? And if so, what does that look like for you?
She said no.
That's been really hard. That's been a trending struggle in my life because I feel like I've carried around feeling like an outcast. I feel like I've been chosen over and that I am not worth even my mother's care or concern. So finding community with that on my back has been a very big deal. I do have a spouse and I do have a 6-year-old son. And they're the best things in my life.
That's all you need. That is all you need. Your 6-year-old son. Not even your spouse. Your 6-year-old son.
It just seems like it's at a point where she's tried everything.
Her mother must have value because she wouldn't be doing all this.
I think she's actually found her like peace. If her mom wasn't sick, I don't think she would be in this situation right now. The diagnosis brought up a lot of pent up anger inside of her that she now wants to put out.
If her mother dies and looks back and says, I wish I did this, I wish I did that, I think that's gonna end up eating her even worse.
The ground zero should be, what does she want?
Yeah, exactly. What does she want? What does she need?
I'm not gonna lie. I was watching this thinking, I wonder if anyone's gonna say something that'll make me change my mind. Because I'm curious how I'm gonna, because I went through it with my dad. We had a tumultuous relationship, but he cared about me. I didn't understand as much at the time, but he did. We had lots of gaps, but gratefully, I was able to spend the last year with him and care for him and help him through his treatment. And he appreciated that. But my mum's different. I only call her my mum because it's easier than saying her fucking name. Having to think to say it. Do you get what I mean? But, yo, what the fuck? But then, if I ever got a call and say, oh, your mum's on her deathbed, I'm sure instinctively I'll just lock off the phone, or I might ask a couple of details and call. But I am curious, like, I don't even have to worry. That fucking bitch is gonna live longer than me. She's that kind of, yeah.
We all agree that it is better to regret doing something than not doing something. You never know what it's like when someone's on their deathbed. And so we just feel like keeping the door open is better than keeping the door closed.
We were listening to what you stated that you wanted. You wanted to feel loved and you wanted validation. You can achieve those things without mending the relationship through support systems, finding therapy, finding a community. You have the love from your family on your side. So for that reason, we said you should not mend it.
Have you made your decision?
Please go no.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like you guys said, I can offer myself the things that I need moving forward. And mending the relationship takes a lot of energy and takes me back to a lot of places that I've already moved through. Both boxes really suck for me. And I like the possibilities in this box more. On the show, that was the first time I've ever talked about it. I came away feeling like maybe I had a powerless attitude towards it And it didn't have to be that way. You know, I have spoken to pretty much everyone now about this situation. So I decided to get in contact with law enforcement and have a conversation with the detective, just going over what happened to me.
Was there any part of you that wanted to reach out to your mom when you did reach out to law enforcement?
It's a lot harder to do when interacting in real time. I find myself more thinking of writing her letters to just know that I'm expressing myself. And so I'm hoping that will serve for some kind of olive branch. You know, since opening up that dialogue with the jury, I have found myself much more open to finding a middle ground.
I'm not gonna lie, that that woman who said she had 5 kids pissed me off, bro. It's like no matter what the girl would have said, she would have said, but it's your mum though. Shut up. She's much better just letting go. 100%. She's got her son, she's got her child. That's all she needs. Like, I felt empty and all that. To a certain extent, still do. My kids gave me. I got to understand what it's like to have unconditional, and to have someone to focus on, someone that you love more than anything. Probably the biggest one, the biggest help in the situation is to look how vulnerable they are. Even now, they're big old selves. But especially when they were younger, especially when they were like the ages when like we were all thrown away, it's like you look at them and it's like, how could she have done that? How could you look at yourself and think, fuck it? So that made it way more easier. But yeah, like, don't feel obligated to no one. Honestly, like, think about yourself. You are allowed to think about yourself, and you're not being selfish. If someone's fucked up your life, don't keep them around just because you happen to have the same relations. Allow that, man. That's just dead weight. It's just gonna drain you, and it's always gonna set you up for more heartache. It's unnecessary, man. You're allowed to accept your demons and embrace your flaws and your history without sitting down with the people that inflicted it on you. Fuck them. They don't deserve that. Even that knowledge. Like, fuck them. Anyway,